Your brand isn't the problem. The way you're building it might be. And why your brand isn't converting, why people scroll past you, and why great content still isn't enough is what we're going to dive into today. My guest and I are going to share with you things that will help you be able to not be frustrated and not feel like social media doesn't work. My guest, Keenya Kelly, is a strategist, a creator, a viral marketing expert, helping entrepreneurs turn visibility into revenue. So make sure you bring your questions, drop them in the comments, because we want to make sure that you end 2025 with a bang and you start off 2026 with everything you need to carry into a successful year. My name is Sri Mahabir, and I'm a social media manager. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My team and I help doctors and lawyers create content that connects to future patients and clients so they choose you over your competition. So let's get into this conversation because it's going to be juicy. It's going to have a lot to, uncover. But I want to, before we get into this, Thanksgiving is coming up. So whenever you're listening to this podcast episode, like Thanksgiving is in a few weeks, what's the one thing that everybody comes to you to ask to make?
Macaroni and cheese.
What?
Yeah, macaroni and cheese. Yeah. I make the baked macaroni and cheese.
Okay, that's it. Anybody who invites Kenya to your house, make sure she brings that mac and cheese. For me, so I've been making non-dairy because my
Oh,
boyfriend doesn't eat dairy. So
oh,
although I'm still perfecting the recipes, I will be sharing those recipes out where I'll do a voiceover. But
yeah.
yes, you'll see me cooking more.
Oh,
Now
wow.
let's get into you. And you know, I was really when I learned this fact about you, I was like, oh wow, you used to be in sales. And what was that exact moment you realized that your future wasn't in sales, but in building your own brand? And how did you mentally shift from being underpaid and unhappy to empowered and visible?
Yeah. So I actually started out in sales and network marketing in like 2001. And so that industry really, I feel like it really shaped me into who I am today because I wasn't just selling, but I learned how to be a brand, even though they didn't really call it that. And then I had a corporate job working for Sprint years later. And by the time I was working for Sprint, live streaming was a thing. And I started watching people making money online as their own personal brands. They were taking all of their corporate experience and bringing it online and making money from it. And I just decided to invest an hour of my friend's time. I paid for an hour of her time, even though I could have called her. And she was telling me how she could see me as a personal brand. And through that call and then working with a coach for a year, I started to realize, oh, I'm bigger than my job. Let me build this thing.
You invested in yourself. Well, I want to get a little bit into that because I find that, I know a lot's going on in the world, but at the same time, what was that exchange when you exchange money for knowledge? What does it do for you?
Yeah, so I feel like, well, one of the reasons why I invested was because I knew that, well, first of all, if she was going to give me advice to make money, I needed to pay her because that's how she made money, right? But I also knew that typically we value what we pay for, even though people may say, "Well, no, I value it. I don't pay for it." I disagree. I think that if you're not paying for a thing, you're not feeling the weight or the tension between the money you just gave up and what you should be getting from this person or thing. And so I decided to do that investment. And of course, it changed the way that I thought. I never thought about me as a personal brand. And I took it seriously, what she taught me. And then when I invested in that coach, I did exactly what that coach told me to do down to the T because I was like, this is my money I'm giving out and I want my return.
Ooh, give me a return on my investment. I want people to recognize that that's important. Like we love free, but
Mhm.
really think about this. When you pay for something, you respect it more. When you receive it for free, it's like, yeah, whatever. I do
Yeah.
want to say hello to everybody who's joining in on the YouTube live, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. We see you. if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I want you guys to know, like, Keenya over here, she big time. Like, if you go to her TikTok, she's almost to 1 million followers. Like, I'm trying to figure out this, this strategy. So why don't we get into that? So
Mhm.
you paid to learn how to build your brand. What
Mm.
is the first platform that you realize, hey, I want to give it a test, what I learned, and I want to see if I can make something of what I've learned?
Mhm. So my first platform was actually Periscope, the live streaming platform
Ooh.
that was through Twitter back in 2016. So everybody back then was streaming on Periscope because there was nothing. I mean, you could post on Facebook, but there wasn't anything like Periscope was. And so I was on there I would do this thing called the Keenya Kelly Morning Show, where every morning I would teach them for 30 or 45 minutes something about personal branding, marketing, or things of that nature. And that's just kind of where I started. And people were selling things. So I had to learn what I could sell and start to sell.
So we got a question here, and I want to get to that because he's asking before you leave, what is this about? We are sharing. I'm actually interviewing Kenya, and she's helping all of us understand how to build a brand and how we can make money. Because if you're trying to get brand deals, even if you're trying to get clients, maybe you don't even have a business, but this could help you with that. Stick around, ask your questions, and
Mhm.
also just know, like, this first part of the interview, I like to get to know people because you don't know me, I don't know you. So
Yeah,
let's get to know each other.
yeah, for
And we
sure.
got Robert here who says, oh, Periscope, I remember that one. So for those who don't know what Periscope is, can you kind of tell us what that is?
Yeah, so Twitter used to have this platform called Periscope, and basically it's just like Facebook Live, like what we're doing right now with live streaming. And it was an opportunity for you to be able to stream and teach and talk and engage with people all around the world. So when you streamed, you didn't just hit people that you knew, you hit anybody, everybody, that people could all over the country and all the world could come into your stream and actually watch you.
So I'm here answering comments and questions. Someone is just saying hello to you as well. Thanks for joining us. So let's get into this. We're here. It's 2025. It's almost Thanksgiving. What do I need to keep in mind when it comes to posting content during the holiday season?
hmm So, well, one of the things that it's really dependent upon what your, I guess, what your goals are for your business, and then how you look at the holidays. So, some people during the holidays they take time off. They're like, "I'm not. That's my time off. I've been working all year long. It's my time off. I'm not going to post." That's okay if that's what you choose to do. For me personally, I am like, I'm a business, and I'm like Starbucks. Starbucks is open every day, so I want to make money every day. So our team is preparing all of our content and our strategy right now for the holidays. So that way, all that stuff is scheduled. And while I'm on vacation, because I'm taking myself on a cruise for Christmas and my whole team is off for a week, our content will still be out there and it'll still be making us money. We'll still be running ads during that time because we still want to make money. And so if someone wants to make money during the holiday time, then they should be posting content. But you can plan that to where it's working for you, and you can kind of use some automation to like respond to things for you, so you can be present with whoever you want to be present with, but online you're still making money because people are still buying.
Oh, yes, we forget that. Even though you're taking off, people are still buying, especially like we're looking for those Black Friday deals, we're
Yeah,
looking for those Christmas deals because everybody has a family member that they don't like and they want to buy it at dirt cheap prices. So
it's funny.
I kind of want to get into because we have a guest or actually a viewer, Deja. She actually is a social media manager for churches. And what is something that you would suggest to maybe even a church if they're posting content that could help her, especially if they're not selling anything? What they're trying to do is get people to come to church.
Yeah. So it's basically like brand awareness, so it's like anytime you are building anything, whether it's a church, you're an influencer or whatever, you're trying to make people know that you exist, right? Because if you're not creating content somewhere, then you're hiding. If everybody is watching TV and you don't have an ad out there, if everybody's on social media and you don't have content there, then whoever is advertising the most, that's the one you see, right? That's why we all know McDonald's, because not because McDonald's has the best food, but because McDonald's is always advertising. And that mom and pop business that is not advertising, nobody knows that they exist. And so if a church or a nonprofit or whomever is trying to grow something, then they should be creating content or running ads to attract people. Like, I love Jesus. I don't own a church, but I love Jesus. And, one of the ways that I found the church I want to go to is because they were advertising. They were talking about who they are. And I'm able to check out a little bit of them and what they believe on social media. I was able to go to their YouTube channel. Like I have this thing with, if I'm going to go to a church, I want to see how they handled 2020 when George Floyd was murdered. And then you can see how they handled that. And then you go, if it was handled well, then it's safe. If it wasn't handled well, you don't go there. But because they put it out there, I was able to really see how they do service now, how they dealt with crazy stuff that has happened in the world and all that type stuff. And it's easy to make a decision without even having to meet anybody.
Ooh, I like that point of view. Like you get to see how do they handle with what's going on today. And then
Yeah.
you get that experience. Sometimes we forget the church gives us an experience before we even get there.
Oh yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
I want to get to this comment. Enrique saying, be the person doing what people are not willing to do.
On the holidays.
And Robert says, yeah, holiday stuff starting to show up in stores in summer. That's so true. In July, it's already Christmas.
Yeah.
Or
Halloween
even
stuff started at midnight Halloween. Midnight Halloween, everything was up, honey.
you know what? I saw things for Halloween on sale on the 30th. I was like,
Yeah.
what's going on here?
Yeah.
And then we have Roslow. Holiday contest and social media encourages engagement. Post a turkey and ask viewers to guess how many feathers are on the turkey. So that's a good one. That's really good to use to get people engaged. So for professionals like doctors, lawyers, or dentists who may believe video is too much for them,
Mm-hmm.
what's something that you suggest that they can do, especially during this holiday season, to kind of get people to see them as, because they don't, this is another one. They don't sell a product unless
Mm-hmm.
they do. But they're selling services, and we all know in December what's happening. We want to use all our benefits and make sure we get all the surgeries and all the eye checks and dental checks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So I think that video is intimidating to most people, especially those that are 30 and up, because we didn't grow up with it. We didn't have a phone in our hand and said, film this video and then post it in this place and the whole world can see it. So because we were not raised that way, to even think about doing that is like, that feels scary to everyone, So a doctor, lawyer, dentist, I can see why they're like, but the truth is that we always have our phones. Like I always have my phone with me. I do not leave home without my phone. My phone is always charged, right? And so these businesses, service-based businesses, have got to learn how to create video to still connect with their audience, because if they're a dentist and they're not posting content, the dentist that is posting content is gonna win. Like I'm in the market to get an implant. And so I'm here in Houston and I'm like, well, one of the first things I'm going to do is go to their social media. Yes, I'm going to go to their website, but I want to see what are the reviews. I want to see how are they posting. What I want to see what that experience is before I waste my time, book an appointment, go see them and waste money, But that just because a doctor or lawyer or dentist may not want to be in the videos, it doesn't mean that they have to, but they need to have somebody that they pay to actually create the content for them being in the videos if they don't want to be the ones in them.
You just have been sharing everything that I've been telling people. I'm going to use this clip to make content because it's beautifully said. Your competition is, watching what you're doing and what you're not doing. And I'll tell you, for doctors, your competition is, yes, your other practices that do what you do, but it's also hospital systems too.
Yeah.
They're like, they have 20 different, profiles on one platform. And you over here with one. So just think about that. How are people finding you? Because if you're afraid of the way you look, I don't like the way I look all the time, especially when the gray hairs are coming out. But we still show up. And I got in my DMs from Roslow, what software do you use to split screen on your LinkedIn Live? Can you do a split screen on different apps, or it's just something that LinkedIn offers? I'm actually using StreamYard, and that's just how it's showing up, because I'm also looking at it from my phone for YouTube, and it looks great on YouTube. So I'll just say StreamYard, giving them a shout
Okay.
out. I'll send you the link so you can get a $25 credit. But if you guys have questions, definitely drop them in the comments, especially because, we have, even if you're like, let's say, I don't have a, Black Friday deal, but I do have a coaching package. I
Mm-hmm.
do have an ebook.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that you talk about in some group that you have. Can you tell me more about that group and what can we do? How do we join?
Yeah. So first thing, let me say to y'all about the Black Friday offer. So if you're going to offer something for Black Friday, please do not offer your coaching. Okay. If it requires you to show up live to it, don't offer it, right? Because like I offer one-on-one coaching. If I discount it, I still have to do the same hour, right? I always tell my clients discount things that are automated, like a digital course, an ebook, or something like that. So just because I made the mistake many years ago, and I was like, oh, it was terrible. But what we do, like we have different ways that we work with people. We work with people in companies one-to-one where we coach them, we coach their teams. We have like a digital course that also comes with group coaching, but we also have a membership that we currently call Invisible to Influential, where we teach influencers, content creators, and business owners how to create content on social media that grows their brand and grows their bottom line, their revenue.
So how do you have the link? If you could drop it. I don't know why I
Yeah,
don't
sure.
have the link. I usually do, but for some reason I have everybody go to your website because you had all your socials there. But
Yeah,
I
yeah, for
do.
sure. I'll put it in our
No,
chat. It won't let me put it won't let me talk in your chat, but I can put it in our private chat.
okay, and I'll share it in the comments for everybody.
Okay.
But my daughter's saying hi. Hi, Sabina.
Hi.
And then we have Ashwin who's saying, I didn't grow up with video at all. I'm 44, old school, and this makes me cringe, but trying to do it anyway.
Yeah.
So, for your clients who come in and say, oh my God, this is so cringe, what are a few things you share with them to help them get past that cringe feeling?
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I just made a post earlier today, and I said, post the content, even though your friends from high school are watching, right? Because the truth is that posting the content is what's going to make you money, right? We're all looking at all these people online who are making significant amounts of money, all these influencers and these kids who are in their 20s and teens who are millionaires because they decided to create content. And I'll say this, there's this girl, her name is Charlie D'Amelio. Charlie was like 14 years old and she was creating dance videos on TikTok. And her sister, what's her name? I can't remember what her name is, but her sister, older sister, kept having people in high school say, ew, your sister's on TikTok. She's always dancing. So Dixie kept asking Charlie to please stop dancing on TikTok. And Charlie was like, no, I'm going to keep on dancing. Well, guess what? Charlie is the number one person on TikTok, changed the entire D'Amelio family's tree. They are the top income earners in Forbes for content creators, multimillionaires, because she was posting things that were cringe. And so for those of you all that are looking at yourself saying my content is cringe, I understand it because you're looking at yourself, you're looking at all your imperfections, and you're learning how to actually create video. So one, it's going to be important for you to actually learn the art of creating video and learning to just appreciate the fact that this is how you look. This is your hairline. These are your eyes. That's your nose. That's your lips. It's how you sound, right? Like I had so many issues with so many things about myself. And finally I was just like, girl, you're missing 3 teeth. Your teeth are crooked. Go make a bunch of money and get Invisalign. So then I did, right? I had gained a lot of weight. I said, girl, go make a lot of money and then go lose weight. I did that, right? And so like, all the things about us, we have to go, that is who I am. And either I'm going to let me keep me from being successful, or I'm just going to put me out there.
Oh, she said she had gaps in her mouth and she went and made the money to fix it.
Yeah.
She gained weight. I mean, this is natural for anybody over the age of
Right.
40,
Yeah.
but make the money. It's like, I'm actually in agreement. Like, I understand. I want to lose weight and I work with a fitness instructor and I make sure I make the money to pay her
Mm-hmm.
because it's so important to me, my health. So we got to do what we need to. And Enrique says, do it ugly. Hey, on that post hit for all of you who think like there's this idea we have to show up perfect. There's this idea that we believe that that's what we need to do. But how many times have you shown up and you just didn't like the video, you didn't like the post, but you still posted it?
All the time. Like there's like when I first got on TikTok, my content was terrible because I didn't know what I was doing. But all that content is still there. So like if you go to my profile and you get all the way down to the bottom, you'll say, ooh, these are terrible. But I was like, I don't care because I can't become great if my stuff isn't terrible. So it's all the time. Like there's hundreds and hundreds of videos out there. Like Facebook Memories likes to humble me. Facebook Memories like to show me, here's what you did 8 years ago. And I'm like, ooh. But instead of deleting it, I will download it and save it to my phone to remind me this is where I started.
Oh, I have those videos too where the lighting was bad. I didn't know
Right.
what I was doing.
Yeah,
It was a hot mess. I mean, I didn't even start in this room. This is my daughter's room, and all
exactly.
of this wasn't like this. This was completely different.
Hmm.
So Ashwin is asking or saying, Keenya Kelly, oh my God, you had to remind me about my hairline. You got a point though. It's true. Even myself, the hair, there's some bald spots coming out for
Hmm.
some of you who think that this is, or I mean, even my psoriasis, it used to not be so much shown. I still keep showing up.
Hmm. Exactly.
So people are talking about this pressure. I mean, not people, but let's just say if you don't have visibility, if you don't have reach, you can't be seen. So then
Mhm.
the next thing is the pressure of going viral. What do you advise to those individuals who are focused on going viral?
Yeah, so going viral is a blessing and a curse, right? So when you go viral, you get this amazing opportunity to reach all of these people. And I've had many moments where I've gone viral. My book was selling like crazy. I've made a ton of money. Like I've had so many opportunities for going viral. But also, what happens when you go viral is you reach the people that you want to reach and the people you don't want to reach. Like right now, my Facebook profile is currently going viral. Both my Facebook like page and my business page are both going viral right now. And it's viral in the other countries, right? The countries where these people are not trying to buy from me. And our team was like, oh my God, like, how do we deal with all these comments and the spam and all that? And so we were just like, okay, like going viral is beautiful, but sometimes it's not. But I also tell people that you don't necessarily want to go viral to grow your business. Like many people have said to themselves, they wish they could get on Oprah's favorite things list, but they don't really know what happens when you get on Oprah's favorite things. That if you get on Oprah's favorite things, millions of people are going to come buy from you immediately. And more than likely, you don't have the manpower. More than likely, your website cannot handle the traffic, and then your warehouse, all these different things. So many businesses went out of business because they couldn't handle the demand, right? You hear these times on people's websites, they just collapse. And so viral is great. It's not the greatest strategy in terms of consistency and like forever, but if you're going to go viral, that's awesome. Just make sure that you have a strategy beyond that.
And it brings me to this question. In your group that you are, we put it in the comments. Do you teach people how to create the back system so that they are, let's just say, okay, look, viral to me is like, I have 80 followers on YouTube.
Mhm.
People are still watching. Even some people don't subscribe, they watch. But if I get 1,000 views, that's still viral to me.
Right.
So how do you help individuals in your group with setting up those back systems?
Yeah. So in our group, I don't necessarily help them with the systems. More so like if somebody works with me one to one, then we help them with their marketing strategy, but we also help them with their systems. Because most people that come into our community, they're trying to learn content creation. But if we work with somebody one to one, we're teaching them about email marketing, funnels, and opt-ins and chat bots, all those business systems that are needed for when that content actually hits. So if someone wants the systems, they have to work with me one to one because it's very intricate. It's very I think that sometimes people will book me for 2 hours and at the 30-minute mark they're done. And I just go, okay, 30 minutes, we'll come back tomorrow and they get another 30 minutes. Cause like when they're learning all these systems, it's like, whoa. So I'm very mindful to only do that one to one because then the group is just like over my head.
What
Yeah.
if you go back to when you started your business? Did you have your system set up, or you were just posting content and
I didn't know any of this stuff. We didn't even know the word content in 2016. I just knew that I wanted to make money and I wanted to be a millionaire. And God told me I was going to be a millionaire, but I didn't know how. So I started investing in programs. And the first system I learned was how to set up a calendar and people could pay for the calendar and it would automatically go to my PayPal. I was like, whoa, that's amazing. Right. Then it was the email marketing. And then it was all these little things. And so now I'm learning all these AI systems, like these automated I'm in this whole bro mastermind, and I'm just like, what is going on? But I'm learning all these AI systems that people are using that are blowing my mind.
So just for those who are thinking like, "Oh, I gotta have everything perfectly set." No.
No.
Just, if I could go back, I would definitely have that calendar just set up to book a call, have some few questions. And
Yeah.
then if you really wanna get paid, then just have one that starts you just have one that they can book and put a few questions to help you understand. Because when you get paid and you don't put anything to help you why you're on this call with this person, it's a waste of time for them
Yeah.
and yourself. I want to get to these comments here because we have quite a bit. So Enrique saying terrible is on the spectrum of great. Work your work from one end to the other. Ashwin says my existing and new videos are like cringe of the year. He's actually quoting you. Going viral is both a blessing and a curse.
Truth.
Enrique says it's funny how we embrace something in medical terms that in medical terms is not so good. So I want to ask one of the hardest questions of all. Like, how do we connect with you? How do we get in touch with you? Because I know there's one way.
Yeah, for sure. So if you guys want to connect with me, obviously you can DM me on any platform. I'm Keenya Kelly on everything. And then that's my website on screen, which is KenyaKelly.com. But I respond to my DMs pretty much everywhere too.
And she is really everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook,
LinkedIn.
Threads. She's also here on LinkedIn. If you don't want to go anywhere else and stay here on LinkedIn, you can. And any words of advice for anybody, well, not anybody, words of advice for entrepreneurs, something that you learned the hard way that you wish you knew before you started this whole journey?
Oh man. Something I wish I knew, learned the hard way is probably investing in help sooner.
Mhm.
It took me years to hire a virtual assistant, and I didn't know the difference, and I burnt out so bad. But I ended up finding the greatest virtual assistant in the Philippines, and she literally has changed my entire life. And then I hired a social media manager from the Philippines as well, because I'm a strategist, but it's like I need to focus on my clients and not me. And so I say if you need to take a pay cut to hire people because they're going to help you make money, make more easier and faster than you trying to do it by yourself. But I would also tell anybody who, if you're asking me what one bit of advice I would give you for 2026, you've got to get on TikTok right now, because for 5 years, the American government has been saying TikTok is bad. 5 years, but still millionaires were made. And now that the TikTok deal has been signed between us and China, the amount of millionaires that's going to be made is going to be significant, because now the US government is going to be saying TikTok is good. So if people made millions from the government saying TikTok is bad, what's going to happen when they really start promoting it and pushing it in a way that they never have since it's been in the US?
And if you feel pressured that you don't want to be there, you don't, but you do need to pick a platform. That's basically where I would say
Mhm.
there's YouTube, there's LinkedIn, there's definitely TikTok, there's Facebook, there's Instagram. These are all platforms where you can show up and
Mhm.
if you want to make it even easier, I always say start with Instagram because then it posts to your Facebook. And then, you want to learn about TikTok, you want to learn all this stuff, definitely join Kenya's group because if you don't, the price goes up in January. But if you just want to work with her one on one because you're like, you know what, I'm really serious about my business and I'm really serious about what I want to do for 2026, don't wait until 2026. Invest now because you will be ahead of the game when you get
Yep.
into 2026. And that's the thing that I learned the hardest is waiting until the year to start to do things instead of realizing you could start now before learn all like you really learn a lot of mistakes, but
Yeah.
then when you get into it, there's a flow. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who joined in. Roger saying that's a great point on TikTok. Very, very true.
Roger.
And we have on YouTube, Yolanda, do it now. Yes. I want to say thank you to everybody. Make sure if you're not following Kenya that you are, but we are going to do this. We're going to end the conversation here. And I'm going to invite you to come and join us because we're going to continue this conversation on Instagram. This episode will also drop and be up tomorrow or Saturday, where you can revisit all the tips that were shared by Keenya because they are really awesome.
Thank you.
So I just want to say thank you so much for being here today. Thank you, all the guests. And until the next live, which will be, I'm going to keep you guys guessing when that's going to be. So until then, bye, everybody.